So perhaps you're new to detailing, or you've been detailing for a couple of years and you want to get into polishing. How do you start? There are so many different questions and so many different thoughts that come into play when you start to learn how to polish paint. Because the point of polishing paint is to improve gloss and clarity, to remove swirls and scratches, to improve the overall appearance of the vehicle. And there's many different stages of polishing as well. Anywhere from just a simple light polish all the way up to a full paint correction and everything in between. But when it comes to polishing, there are so many things to think about. What type of pad and product are you going to use? What type of polisher? Are you going to use a DA? Are you going to use a rotary? The condition of the paint, how hard or soft the clear coat is. Are you going to use faster or slower hand movement? Are you going to put pressure? Are you going to use foam or microfiber pads? What towels are you going to use to wipe off the residue? Lots of different questions, lots of different things. And some detailers like to overcomplicate it. Let's make it simple, because really it is simple. You don't have to overcomplicate it, and you can use simple products and simple methods to get the desired results. Today we have this 2014 Volkswagen Jetta GLI. It has metallic black paint and it's got a ton of swirls and lots of holograms or buffer trails. What are holograms and buffer trails? I'll explain later. So let's get into this video because you don't want to miss it. If you're getting into polishing, this is the one for you. So as we look at the paint, it's kind of hard to see because of the clouds, but you'll definitely see it once we pull it into the shop and put the lights on it. But you can see it does have some swirls, it has some paint defects. And as I move the camera and the light hits the paint, you can kind of see these weird lines in the paint. And it kind of gives it a hologram effect. That's why, well, most detailers call these holograms, because it kind of moves with the light. That is caused by improper polishing using a rotary polisher. Rotaries are not bad, but in the wrong hands, they can be. Any polisher in the wrong hands can mess up the paint. These wheels are really nice. We're going to use a iron deconning wheel cleaner on them, and all of the trim we're going to restore as well, because it's faded and it needs some help. Lots of bird bombs and weird etchings all over the place. So not a lot of clarity. Overall, the paint just looks dull and faded. So overall, the paint just doesn't look good. Let's improve that. We're gonna wash it first, decon it, and we'll pull it into the shop and begin the polishing process. And I'll give you some tips and advice on what products and pad combinations to use, what type of polisher to use, and the techniques to get the desired results. Now this is in for our paint enhancement, not a paint correction. So we're not trying to get all of the swirls and scratches out. We're trying to get at least 50 to 75%. That's our version of a paint enhancement. Other detailers have different terms and different meanings when it comes to paint enhancement and correction and what those mean to them. For us, we try to keep that simple with 3 different levels of service. Go to our website and you'll see those 3 different levels: paint protection, paint enhancement, paint correction. We keep it simple because our customers need simplicity. If we overcomplicate it, they're gonna have a problem choosing a package. So when you get into polishing and you're trying to figure out what to offer, keep those packages simple. So you may notice this little guy on my spray gun. This is a little 3D printed prototype of a pressure washer tip holder. It fits in there, stays snugly on the gun so that you can do other stuff, and then gently pull this off and put it back into your pressure washer gun. I don't know if he's selling these just yet. This is kind of a prototype, but it works really well. So the main washing and deconning is done. We use the clay mitt, clay bar, a little bit of the iron decon on the back area there. But as long as the paint is clean and smooth, then that's a good sign. You don't have to iron decon or use tar remover every single time if you don't see it or feel it on the paint. It is not necessary. Contrary to what other elitist detailers may tell you, they love to just use that chemical arbitrarily, saying, oh, it's going to make things better, it's going to make your polishing process better, make the coating apply better, or last longer. Whatever the case is, a lot of that is just talk. It's a lot of marketing, or it's a lot of just OCD talk that is not necessary when you are running a proper detailing business. Remember that. If you have questions about that, feel free to reach out. But what I am going to do is go over the emblems with an all-purpose cleaner. You can go over this with a water spot remover if you want. I'm not seeing a lot of water spots on here. I just want to clean these things a little bit better, these emblems and grill and intricate pieces a little bit better. I did see some wax residue in them, so I want to get that removed. You can use an iron remover for this if you want. Use whatever chemical you want. Just make sure to hit all these areas beforehand. It just makes things easier. Now, with so many different polishes and pads and towels on the market, how do you choose? Look guys, you're gonna have to start with something. You're gonna have to start with some sort of set of pads and towels and compounds and polishes. Let's simplify it. And we have these options right here. These you can find at Car Supplies Warehouse. We have Shine Supply products. They work extremely well. You could use Meguiar's, you could use Turtle Wax polishes, you can use anything. The point is start with something and then you can adjust from there. Let's go with the Vonix polishes today. I love Shine Supply polishes, but I've been using the Vonix ones lately and they are just as good. They work incredibly well. So we're gonna start with Blend. This is an all-in-one ceramic-based polish. It's a medium to fine cut, which means it's going to remove maybe 20 to 50% of defects on average on pretty much any type of paint, especially when paired with a medium cut pad. Now I have the Rupes yellow pad here, which is excellent. I also have my favorite, the Lake Country flat orange. You can use the CCS orange, you can use the HD pads, it doesn't matter. Pick one, roll with it, see what you like, and then move on from there. When it comes to towels, I like a finer nap towel like these. These are from the Fiber Factory. You could use a fluffy towel like this, but I find that after a few washes, these will start to leave lint, while these actually don't, at least not yet. These last a little bit longer, in my opinion, than these guys, but that's just what I have found. Now, if we need a little bit more cut, if we see that the blend, and maybe in some sections, is not taking out the defects like we want, we could just bump it up to the V polish. Now, this doesn't have any protection in it like this does. I said an all-in-one, which means it is a polish and protectant all-in-one product, all one formulated solution. Or if we do need a little bit more cut, we can bump it up to their polish. This has a little bit more bite, a little bit more cut, but still finishes down extremely well. So the Jetta is pulled in, washed, dried. Everything was blown dry as well. We don't want any water coming out of the cracks and crevices when we're polishing. That's just annoying. But look at the paint. Now, once again, you can see that movement, those lines kind of moving like that, and it's kind of a hologram effect. That's why we call it holograms. And again, it's just from using a rotary polisher improperly, not finishing down correctly. Look at that weirdness right there, see that? Now, this is pretty simple to remove. So when you see holograms like that, that is an indicator that somebody was here previously and did some work. And with that being the case, when you start polishing, you do want one special tool that is going to be very important that can really save your behind. So here's an option for a really good paint depth gauge. It connects to your phone. Lots of features on here. Some I really don't use, but you can if you want. You can go around the entire vehicle and document everything, and it will print out a PDF form with all the measurements around the vehicle. Very, very powerful tool. I use it basically just to get an idea of what I'm working with. Now, when you look at the paint on modern vehicles, we are looking at 3 different layers on top of the substrate, which means whatever the surface is, metal, fiberglass, whatever that is. This is going to be steel and zinc. It actually shows me what the metal is. And what we're looking at is primer on the bottom, which is around 1 mil or less. The color, which is again about 1 mil, and then clear coat on top of it, which is roughly about 2+ mils. So on average, 4+ mils of material, with the top layer being the most, the clear coat 2+ mils or so. So when we look at this, we're looking at 6+ mils. That's healthy, that's good. Some areas might be thinner or thicker than others. Actually, down towards the front, all of a sudden it jumps. This could have been repainted. It could be a new hood. The paint looks a little weird, so I can kind of tell that it looks different. Yeah, so it is reading kind of high. Yeah, kind of light orange peel. Now that, again, this is just giving you an idea. It's not an exact thing. It's not saying that you have 2 to 3+ mils of clear coat exactly, because if this was repainted in a body shop, we don't know the technique of the painter. We don't know how much he sprayed on. It could be more paint than there is clear coat. We don't know. Still tread carefully. Always tread carefully. Do a test spot and only go as far as you need to go. Now, if you're a mobile detailer, you're not going to have the convenience of all of these lights and a nice shop environment like this. We've done paint enhancement, even paint corrections in a mobile setting, outdoors, in the full sun. It's not fun, but it can be done. Wow, that was quite the rhyme.
Not fun, but it can be done.
Yes. So we'll show you some options for both the shop environment and for you mobile guys. And the cool thing about having lights is you can purchase lights like this. This is from ScanGrip. Now, this is definitely the higher priced option. You have the nice tripod. This actually folds up pretty small. You can fit it in your trailer or your van. And these lights are battery powered, or you can plug them into your generator. They are very bright. They're actually Bluetooth activated as well. And when we turn this on full blast, you can really see that it really brings out the defects. It's incredible. And even outdoors, this works really well. Now, this light also comes with a diffuser. This is great for applying coatings because you place it right on to the light. It diffuses it. It makes it a wider angle, and you can actually see coatings and things like that better with that diffused light. A couple of different options to choose from, which is really, really nice. You can see the difference, diffused or spotlight. The spotlight definitely brings out more defects. Now, for you mobile detailers, we're going to try out one combo here using Vonix Blend, which is an all-in-one, a ceramic-based all-in-one, and the Orange Lake Country pad. With a couple of passes, let's see what improvement we can make. Let's see if that made a difference. Just a couple of passes and look at the difference. It took away all of the holograms. Did it take away all of the swirls? No, because that's not what we're going for here. We're going for paint enhancement. So is that 50% from that to that? I'd say that's slightly above 50%. That's excellent. You can really see the depth in the color as well. So excellent. That did a great job. Now we do have some other etchings here. Those may not come out. I can already tell those may not come out 100%. We can lighten them, but let's see if we can improve those as well. So now you can see the stark contrast between unpolished and polished. Now that is just with an all-in-one. You work this product like a traditional polish. You don't just simply spread it on like a wax or a sealant. You work it into the paint like any type of compound or polish. With a medium pad like the Orange Lake Country, you actually get true defect removal. Let's see if that's true. We're going to use some DIY panel prep. This is a strong alcohol-based panel prep, and I just want to do a test here. Let's see if we actually remove defects, or is it just covering it up? I'm going to hit it twice just for good measure. Now let's see, did it make a difference? This is actually true correction. Swirls are not going to reappear, they're not going to come back, but they will be reintroduced by improper washing or just over time, just from touching the paint, using towels. Light little micromarring and scratches will come back, but not hologramming like that from polishing with a rotary polisher. That will never come back. Light swirls will over time be reintroduced into the paint, but that did an excellent job of actually removing those heavy defects. So it's up to you and your customer and what you're charging them and the time that you have. Do you want to go further than that? Totally up to you. But these are the results we are shooting for today. It is looking incredible. The depth of gloss is beautiful. Now when it comes to the actual polishing technique, there's a lot of variety here. And